believe that faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life. But the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations. Government should be of law, not of man. Economic justice can best be won by free men through free enterprise, and that service to humanity is the best work of life. Here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, we have an advertising agency that sells a lot of advertising to the government and also advertises for the political candidates when they're running for office. Something about that just doesn't smell right. I don't know what to do other than get my government out of the advertising business so that people know that who they're voting for is actually qualified and not just a puppet of somebody who's got some advertising dollars. I had another one of these around here somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My greatest mentor in college taught me at the University of London School of Economics. He was a consultant to BP and Shell. He explained to me how the Buy American campaign of 1990 was actually created to benefit the Dutch and the British. He explained to me that while we were focused on the people with slanted eyes, the Japanese, we were very trusting of the white people from the Dutch and the British, who owned more than 5 times as much land in America than the Japanese could ever dream of. But you know, this man was a marketing genius. He had brought Sony to the United States. And he told me that he was working, that he worked for BP and Shell. But it still bothered me for years. Why would this man, such a marketing genius, to bring Sony to the United States and overtake the home stereo market? He taught me how he did it. Why would an oil company that's just a commodity, those things I studied when my cousin gave me a tour of the Board of Trade building in Chicago, I thought it was just a commodity like corn. What type of recipe book do you use to sell petroleum? That was in the back of my mind for many years as I went to the Hotel Motel Association meetings and saw the leadership of the Holiday Inns introducing the wrong marketing ideas into our market at these Hotel Motel Associations. And I was seeing it hurt the small businessman, but I couldn't understand why. I later looked at the property deeds of the Holiday Inn and saw Gulf Oil Company of America written on it. I then went to the library to research who Gulf Oil Company was owned by. By accident, by a miracle from God, I accidentally stumbled across a company that I was familiar with on the Alabama rivers, known as International Paper. They're one of the largest landowners in the state of Alabama. I just happened to stumble across them, and since I knew people that worked with them, or since I worked for Scott Paper part-time, I briefly glanced over it and read it. And it said in one real estate transaction, Gulf Oil Company, which is the American name for BP back then, Gulf Oil Company bought $750 million worth of assets from International Paper in Baldwin County, Escambia County, Mobile County, and East Jackson County. I began to understand that the people at these Hotel Motel Association meetings were not in the hotel motel business, but in the real estate business. They'd buy farms, build golf courses, then steal tourists from one economy and deliver them to another. Ray G. Wiltshire. I don't know what the G stood for. It was Strategic Marketing International. The man was a genius at taking the SWOT analysis technique and applying it to marketing theory and strategy. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But he gave me a clue many years ago that countries such as Great Britain and the Dutch own land in America. They own land all across the world, and that's what they do, is they constantly develop land. Unfortunately, in our case, they were committing the ultimate crime by deceiving the traveler. Try to take one economy and develop another is just a crime against humanity. Absolute crime against humanity. But that's how they market their product. On International Studies Abroad program in Great Britain, we toured the Lloyd's of London, the London Stock Exchange, which Ray Wiltshire told me was the financial center of the world. I thought New York was, but maybe he's right. BP owns a lot of land in America. Yeah, I toured Lloyd's of London, which, by the way, is the ugliest building I've ever seen in my life. They call it modern architecture. But also went to Hungarian Stock Exchange, UN building in Vienna. Learned from Frieda Meisner-Blau, who founded the Green Political Party, and taught me how she used the media to manipulate her audience. It worked for her. It really drove us broke trying to become energy efficient, but I liked her idea. She said, since East Europe is so dirty and polluted, and all that air comes over West Europe, maybe as a president of Austria, I will group with the other leaders of other countries and buy all this American technology to clean up East Europe. I thought she was brilliant. Typical Republicans in my class thought she was they had less than kind words to say about her. So I thought she was brilliant. But yeah, I toured Hungarian Stock Exchange, where I studied tourism there. The company went from $2 a share to $70 a share in 6 months. They were in the tourism industry, and it opened my eyes over in Europe to be in a society where there were no billboards, there was no radio communication with me, there was no TV communicating with me. There was just human beings out there who were more than happy to communicate with me. It was utopia. I didn't have to follow anybody's advertisement to figure out where I was going to spend my money. I talked to the locals, spent my money, I was happy, I was a tourist. They took good care of me. And anybody that can't show that kind of hospitality in the hospitality state really pisses me off.
The hospitality state?
That's Mississippi. We're logoed as the hospitality state on our license plates. We claim to be hospitable, yet Holiday Inn has our oldest franchise in the state of Mississippi, in Clarksdale, and throughout the states. Everywhere you go in Mississippi, you'll find a brochure rack that says go to Alabama, go to Louisiana, get the hell out of Mississippi. It's absolute insanity. I made this argument at the Hotel Motel Association many years ago. Their excuse was they didn't have a regular distributor that would take care of the brochure rack year round, and they were subject to inspections from the national chain.